a delicate-looking inhabitant of densely vegetated wetlands, where it scrambles over floating plants, and between the stems of standing ones, brown above and pale gray below, with a small black mask, around the eye bound in by two bold white stripes, prefers to run away instead of fly. Flight is weak, with dangling legs. Call is a loud, raspy, kee-caw, often repeated. A very large, flightless rail of lowland swamp forests, thick yellow bill and strong black legs, dark brown back, buffy flanks, and a pale face and chest, flicks its wings upwards often, somewhat similar to rufous-tailed bush hen, although New Guinea flightless rail is significantly larger, not as dark and has a longer bill, similar size to a scrubfowl, but the bill is totally different. Call, a rough, introductory, rack, 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 followed by a series of upslurred growling sounds repeated constantly. Small brown crake with conspicuous stripping on the back. The underparts are brown in the male and gray in the female. Both sexes show a buff patch under the tail. Found in marsh and seasonally flooded grassland. Shy, inconspicuous, and generally scarce. Unlikely to be seen by those not expressly looking for it. The call is a long, dry, high-pitched trill. Large, distinctive marsh dweller, elusive and often difficult to see in the heavily vegetated wet fields and marshes it inhabits. Male is unmistakable, with black body, brown-edged wing coverts, and red and yellow bill with raised, spiky red frontal shield. Unlike smaller moran, females and immature are similarly large but speckled brown above with tan faces, and lack male's frontal shield. Males are very vocal when breeding, producing liquid-sounding gulps comparable to a water bottle emptying. Both sexes make a range of incisive, guttural clucking and creaking calls, as well as a sharp keek and alarm. A large, long-legged rail with rich chestnut underparts, duller brown upperparts, a greenish bill, and greenish-yellow legs, typically encountered in pairs or small groups within dense, rank grassland or thick scrub, in the lowlands and lower hills on Sulawesi. In its limited range, most likely to be confused with female watercock, but the bush hen lacks any markings on the upper side and is brighter, chestnut-colored underparts, noisy, giving harsh, tack-tack-tack-tack, calls in addition to lisping, gru-gru-gru. Medium-sized, fairly common chicken-like marsh bird found in meadows, ditches, riversides, marshes, as well as parks and farmlands in close proximity to humans, often seen foraging in the open. Adults are dark slaty above and white below, with a rusty patch under the tail. Juvenile similar but duller in color. Remarkably variable song is a series of hooting, grunting, or risping notes or phrases, repeated monotonously, often from an exposed perch. A large ground bird of grass, scrub, and forest edge, usually close to water. Slate gray on the head and underparts, blending to a brown back and tail. Note the greenish-yellow bill and the long yellow legs, similar to Philippine megapode, but usually found near water and outside a forest, and distinguished by yellow legs, thicker bill, and lack of bare facial skin. Highly vocal and much more often heard than seen. Voice includes a rhythmic quacking and harsh rasps. A large, entirely dark, pale-billed rail confined to the Taulot archipelago. Upper parts and head dark brown, underparts completely slate-colored, very shy. Principally inhabits dense swampy areas of the forest floor, but also recorded in other heavily vegetated areas. Differs from pale-vented bush hen by larger overall size, bigger bill, absence of pale vent, and association with forest habitats. Calls include a harsh, grating bark-like call, gra gra gra, as well as softer chuck notes, and grating, ko, calls. Very secretive medium-sized rail that inhabits dense vegetation around wetland habitats in northern and northeastern Australia. Rarely seen away from cover. Dull grey-blue body, brown wings and tail, with reddish-brown undertail, yellow-green bill with small shield, and long yellow legs. Gives a variety of calls, usually a loud, repeated, squawky, work work work, or an agitated, work whoop, work whoop, work whoop. Small, chicken-like dweller of dense forests and tangled edges. Dark brown above, with orange head and breast and black and white striped sides. Juvenile similar but with brown head and breast, narrower white stripes below. Dark lead gray legs distinguish this species from red-legged, band-bellied, and ruddy-breasted crakes, which also show different underpart patterns. Sings at night from favored tree perches, a series of doubled hoots that recall mountain scops owl. Secretive crake of rainforest habitats, where there is thick cover alongside a stream or pool, usually shy, but patient observation at dusk may reward viewers with a sighting. Adult dark olive brown with rich chestnut head and chest, greenish yellow bill, black and white banded undertail, and red legs. Juvenile mostly dusky, gives an accelerating sequence of short repeated squawks and squeaks, as well as slower clicks. A relatively large, rust-colored crake with a pale bill, and barred black and white underparts. Very shy and skulking in dense woodland, where it forages on the wet forest floor. Known to be most active at dawn and dusk, its loud and screechy, craw craw craw, often gives away its presence in the vicinity. Small, brightly colored crake of wet patches in dense forests, occasionally can be found in parks and edge areas with suitable habitat. Brown with an orange head and zebra-striped sides. Bright red patch of bare skin around the eye gives it a somewhat startled appearance. Candy red, instead of dark, legs distinguish it from slaty-legged crake, and dainty. Smaller build appearance distinguish it from ruddy-breasted and band-bellied crakes. Generally shy and unobtrusive, moving quietly through wet vegetation tends to be difficult to see, but generally common and reliable in Singapore and some areas of Thailand. Small, chicken-like inhabitant of marshes, vegetated river edges, ditches, wet croplands, sometimes dry fields, brown above, with orange from lower cheek to lower breast, similar to band-bellied crake, but more brightly colored, and lacks white wing markings, retiring and difficult to see but not uncommon in some locations, most often detected by song, an accelerating series of beeping notes, given from cover in early morning and evening. Skulky and difficult to see, this medium-sized crake is often detected through its unique song, a hollow hoot knocking that can be likened to a wood rattle or rapid-fire tapping on a tiny high-pitched drum. Favors extremely well-vegetated marsh margins, often in areas with bushes and short trees, and sometimes near cultivation. If seen well, note dull gray-brown back, orange face, throat, and chest, and black and white striped sides. Ruddy-breasted crake can be very similar, but note band-bellied's grayer back, duller red legs, more extensive white barring on the sides, and white striped coverts, not always visible. A small, pudgy, blackish water bird with reddish eyes, a yellowish bill, and diagnostic pink-red legs. The immature is browner, with duller legs and bill. It scuttles along the edges of swamps and other water bodies, preferring red beds and emergent vegetation to forage on, sometimes quite boldly. Like most crakes, it walks tentatively with its head lowered, picking and probing for insects, plant matter, and other food. The distinctive call is an odd, wheezy bubbling and chattering, tee-tee-tee-tee-tee-tree, tee-tee-tee-tee-tee-tree. A round, softly colored inhabitant of rice fields, wet shrubby areas, and red beds. Despite its use of sheltered habitats, this is one of the bolder rails, and can be seen wandering in the open. The upper parts are brown and the face, breast, and belly are gray. Yellow-based bill is also often surprisingly visible even when hidden in vegetation, constantly cocks tail upwards and downwards as it forages. Tiny, with long wings and a short greenish bill with a small red base. Face and underparts are plain slaty gray on male, and buffy to whitish on female and juvenile. Adults have plain flanks and boldly barred undertail coverts. Juvenile has barred flanks, compared to similar Balin's crake. Breeds in freshwater wetlands with extensive emergent vegetation, and spends the non-breeding season in a wide range of marshy habitats. Often favors deeper water aquatic plant stands than other rails and crakes, clambering about nimbly amongst the vegetation, usually retiring and rarely seen, but can be confiding. Males give a long song that starts with a series of quack notes that eventually accelerates and tapers off. Females respond with a descending trill with a similar quality. Widespread across Africa, Eurasia and Australasia, tiny crake that breeds in wet sedge marshes and bogs. Migrants can be in any marshy habitat, usually retiring and rarely seen, but can be confiding, although unmistakable in parts of its range. It can sometimes co-occur with the similar little crake, best told by its shorter wings, short, greenish bill, that lacks red base and barred flanks, juvenile darker and more extensively barred below than juvenile little crake. Extinct, last reported in 1944. Small dark crake found in highlands and foothill regions, where it inhabits forested marshes, flooded fields, and wet shrubby patches, rich brown above and dark gray below, color scheme similar to brown crake, but darker overall, particularly on the face. Like most crakes, generally shy, preferring thick vegetation, but will venture into open fields and marshes during dawn and dusk. Voice consists of two hoarse croaks, followed by a clattering descending trill. Small, rare rail that is unlikely to be seen unless you're expressly looking for it at a handful of known sites. Cleanly rich brown on the back and gray below, with a bright yellow bill and red legs. Found in a few western Madagascar wetlands with tall reeds and floating vegetation. Common calls are a repeated pick, and the long, dry trill. Combination of size and all yellow bill are distinctive. Extinct, last reported in 1844. Small dark crake with red eye and red orbital ring. Upper parts dark brown, underparts blue-gray, with red legs and short black bill. Inhabits wetlands where there is dense vegetation surrounding the water. Quite skittish and often difficult to observe. A wide variety of calls include a slow, repeated and a bubbling, accelerating motorboat call. Extinct, last reported in 1828. An entirely deep black crake with bright reddish-orange eye-ring and legs. Bill is yellowish-green, flightless, bold, and curious. No other similar birds occur within its range. Contact call is a nasal cack repeated rapidly. Also gives a loud, continuous churring call.